Thinking about buying a home in Granada Hills and want something clean, move-in ready, and has ADU potential? Welcome to our newest listing at 11330 Haskell Avenue in Granada Hills. This 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms offers over 2,000 square feet of living space, a remodeled kitchen with quartz counters, an oversized family room with tons of built-ins, and a private backyard. It also has a detached garage, perfect for an ADU conversion down the line. This Granada Hills home tour gives you a closer look at a property with space, upgrades, and future potential. Let's check it out. Standing in front of our newest listing in Granada Hills, California at 11330 Haskell Avenue. Now this home is 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2,051 square feet of living space, 7,203 square foot lot, built in 1956. This is a fantastic single level home, and we can't wait to show everything that it has to you today. And that includes the ADU potential, which we're gonna showcase at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Facing this single level house, you immediately see all the greenery in the front of the home, the wrought iron fencing. And as we walk up this walkway, notice all the rose bushes too, right? So these are always in bloom in the spring. Now, as we're filming this video, this is later spring, but you know, especially earlier in the spring, these bushes are always in full bloom. All right, we're gonna walk up now to the front door and go inside, and can't wait to show you everything inside. Inside this 4 bedroom, 3 bathrooms home, 2,051 square feet of living space. Again, situated on a 7,203 square foot lot built in 1956. So we entered through the formal entryway, and that takes us into your living room, a wonderful sitting area. Of course, you have this lovely fireplace right here. The bricks are painted white, so kind of giving a little bit of more of a modern feel to it. Now, in this open space right here, directly across from the living room is your formal dining area. We're gonna touch on a few things when it comes to eating areas throughout this house. So this is the main formal dining area, but I'm gonna give you some ideas of maybe you wanna configure it a little differently. So we'll kind of walk you through that. So you can see here, you could easily fit a pretty good sized table in this space. For sure, at the very least 8, but I'm thinking you could easily fit a table with 10 people if you needed to. So this is your formal dining area. Now you can see it from the other perspective, your living room area as you walk in from the entry of this home. All right, we're gonna walk straight ahead now, just a little bit to our off right, and we're gonna go into our kitchen. So remember, I was telling you just now about different places to eat, and you do have a small eat-in area here in your kitchen, perfect for a circular table, which is how we have it set up currently right now. There's a good amount of cabinetry in this kitchen as well. Don't miss the plantation shutters. You're gonna see that throughout many places in this home. Now, one thing that we did here, we had our contractor come in, and originally this tile was an old kind of Spanish blue tile that had a mosaic design inside of it, and it just didn't feel very modern, right? So we came in, and because we didn't want to change out the flooring has this kind of red, orange, and brown combination on the tile flooring, and then you have a darker cabinetry, right? So you didn't want to go into anything too crazy, otherwise your eyes are going to be completely distracted when you enter into the kitchen. So we wanted something that would be able to complement everything that was currently here. So we were able to remove that old blue tile and come in with this white quartz countertop that kind of has a mixture of gray, and the veins you see here, kind of a dark gold and brown together, mixed in and intertwined with the gray veins on the countertop. And really that kind of gave it a really super sleek look, I think, in my opinion. And then we replaced the sink, so now you have this stainless steel sink basin with a brand new faucet, and it just looks so much better, I think, in my opinion. And we really were able to modernize, and that's something that we were able to do with our contractor. And if you wanted to, and if you're one of our clients, you can utilize our Concierge Plus program, where you're able to essentially be able to do any upgrades or repairs and not pay anything until you close escrow. There's no hidden fees or charges when you use that program. All right, so moving along here, right, you have your double oven right there, right? You can see some more of the cabinetry. And then to the left, you're gonna have your gas cooktop here as well. And then, you know, because you already had a few different darker colors going on here, it didn't make sense to use another backsplash. So we were able to continue the same color scheme, right? The same quartz counter from the actual countertop itself, and then make it go up as the backsplash here in the kitchen. Okay, now we're gonna reverse ourselves just a bit. So we entered through the kitchen through the other way, and how we just entered the kitchen just now is right off the entry, right by the front door. You just saw the door that we just kind of passed there. That enters out into the side yard. And now you have a different vantage point of this large living room and dining room combo area right here that you can see. So you get a better viewpoint of that. So this will take us through these double French doors into this enormous family room slash bonus room. All right, we're gonna spend a little bit of time here, and I'm gonna give you guys a few different ideas. So remember I was telling you before that, okay, hey, you know what, there's a few different places you could put your formal dining table if you want. Now, if you needed something that, you know, maybe you need more than 10, 12 people, you could easily have, right, your formal dining table in here. That would work. I don't think most people use their formal dining table that often where it actually makes sense, but this is a great area. I think most people are going to use this, kind of put their big screen TV in this room, right? This is going to be where all the entertaining takes place, right? Maybe you could have a small office against the wall if it's something that you wanted to have, right? But there's so many different things. Maybe you want to put a pool table in here, right? Depending on how you want to use it. But this is a great game area. Don't miss all of the built-ins here on the left side, the north side of this room. There are tons. And what's really advantageous about this, you don't need a china cabinet to put all your fancy china and crystal right in the actual formal dining area if you're going to use it as part of that living dining room combo. And that's because here you have all the space to do so. You have plenty of space to put all that here in this room, and additionally have storage for games or other ways to entertain your friends, guests, family, whoever it might be that you're going to be actually entertaining here in this wonderful home. Now, you do have a double French doors into the backyard. We're going to go into the backyard later in this video, but just kind of wanted you to see that. And this is a pair of French doors leading out to the backyard. The other set of French doors leading to the backyard comes from the primary bedroom, which we'll show you a little bit later. Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this home tour. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this home so far. All right, so if you're looking to buy a home here in Southern California and the greater Los Angeles area, definitely feel free to reach out to us, right? Because I think a lot of the buyers, when they come into the market, right, they just don't really understand what it takes to get their offer accepted. And this is things such as, you know, the contingency time period, simple things like that, but actually how to structure the offer, right, to make sure your offer is a winning offer. Because it's not just price, right? There's so many other different terms and conditions on how you can get your offer accepted. And a lot of times it's just simple as talking with the listing agent and finding out what the seller wants on the other side. But a lot of times if you're competing against multiple offers, then it's really imperative that your real estate agent is working as a team with your lender to be able to put you in position where your offer is going to stand out above everybody else's, even if you're competing against all cash. So that's really crucial. So reach out to us if you'd like us to answer any questions about what it takes to get your offer accepted in today's market. Let us know about that. So one other thing I wanted to tell you about is this house is partially staged, right? So a lot of our homes, we stage them. The whole house, we stage it, right? That's complimentary when you work with us, when you're a seller and you work with us. But what happens, you may ask, when you're living in the house, right? And you still have your own furniture. Well, I think a couple things. Number one, it comes down to a lot of times there are pieces that you may not be taking with you or you may be getting rid of. So, if you're not going to be using those pieces in the next place that you're going to, we can help you get rid of those items, right? Number one, at no cost. And then a lot of times it just comes down to moving pieces around of your current furniture to really show the open spaces in your home. And that's one of the things we do here. Now, obviously, we don't want our clients moving around massive pieces of furniture. Sometimes it's a bed set, sometimes it's a large sofa, sometimes they have to be moved from downstairs to upstairs and vice versa. That's something that our crew does, and that's not a cost for our sellers. So something to think about, right? That when you want to make sure as a seller, your home looks better than everybody else's on the market. All right, let's keep this home tour moving along. So we're gonna walk back through that living room, dining area combo room. We're gonna go split right through the middle. And again, you'll be able to see the living room one more time. And now we're gonna go through the hallway. So again, this home has 4 bedrooms and over 2,000 square feet of living space. So this door to your right, that's a coat closet right there. And then the first bedroom is going to be to your left. So notice the hardwood flooring, you have the wall-to-wall closets in there, and you have a lovely view of the backyard as well as a ceiling fan. And then, this is something that we haven't talked in this video so far right now, and that is that you have this crown molding throughout all of the bedrooms and the main areas of the house. So you have this gorgeous, beautiful crown molding. And if you look by the windowsill right there, you may be thinking to yourself, what is that pole actually hanging down? And this is actually for you to be able to control the awning from the outside. So if you did not want that morning sun, because we are currently facing east right now, you would be able to make it almost like a blackout situation and make sure that you don't have any light coming in here whatsoever. Okay, so that's your first bedroom right there. So we're gonna return to the hallway, and there's gonna be another door that you're gonna see immediately to the left. Now, I'm not gonna open it. This is just access to your furnace. So this is the furnace closet, in case you're wondering. So nothing exciting to see that. Now, as we make our way left, there's gonna be 2 rooms right here. So this is gonna be the first. So you're gonna have your indoor laundry room. Now, this is really crucially important in my view. That's because you have a detached garage, and you wouldn't wanna have to go into your garage in order to be able to do a load of laundry. Plus, you got your custom cabinetry above there too, so you're able to store a ton of different things here in those cabinets in this room. And then right in front of us, now we're gonna be led into this primary suite. So this is a very large bedroom, to say the least, right? You saw those wall-to-wall closets as you enter, but this is a huge primary suite. And so this is the opportunity for you to really enjoy that natural light that comes through, that shines through, especially because you have these wonderful French doors that lead you to the backyard that we alluded to earlier. So you have 2 sets of wall-to-wall closets. You have one right here in front of us, and then the other that we showed you before as you enter the home. And then you can see these gleaming wood floors as you move along here through this primary bedroom. Now, we saw a lot of these wood floors too in the main part of the house, in the living room, dining room combo area as well. So since you do have a large primary bedroom, this is why you actually have this attached bathroom right here, right? So you have your tile counters right in here, and then you got the white cabinetry, right? So you don't have a lot of harsh colors and nothing too brash. You have a modern light fixture there above the sink, and so it all works together and very tastefully done. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. So that wraps up the primary bedroom, the primary suite. And then right after that, you're gonna see your second bathroom. You have your white tile counters here, and then you're gonna have your shower in tub in this bathroom. And then again, look up high, you're gonna see your crown molding once again. So outside of the hallway, almost the entire house has these crown moldies throughout this home. So that takes us to bedroom number 3. So you can put a pretty good size bed in here. Again, your gleaming wood floors, and then tons of plantation shutters here, right? Both on the south and the west side of the home. So if you want to be able to keep out a lot of that light, you'd be able to do so. And of course, just like the other bedroom, this one has a ceiling fan as well. But stepping back, this one takes us to our 4th and final bedroom. So this bedroom right now is currently staged as an office. And I think it would make a nice den too. I could easily see somebody, using this to kind of use as your yoga studio, a home gym, a home office. If you have younger kids, this would be a great place to keep all of their toys, right? If you didn't need that 4th bedroom as a bedroom itself. So a plethora of different options at your disposal depending on how you want to set it up. All right, so this takes us to the 3rd and final bathroom, and this bathroom is right off the front entryway. So if you were to open this door, that would be right by the front door, just to give you a perspective of where we are in the house. So you have your shower enclosure here, you have your tile counters, and this is your 3rd and final bathroom. You've seen the entire interior of this home. Now it's time to showcase the exterior of this property. So we're going to walk outside right now, once again going through this living room, dining room combo to make it to the backyard. You can also arrive in the backyard from the primary bedroom through identical French doors like these, and these doors are going to take us to your private backyard. I can't tell you how much I love this patio nestled in between the primary bedroom as well as this large family room, right? To be able to sip your morning coffee, al fresco dining. And this is kind of an extension of your living area if you really think about it, right? Between your interior and the exterior kind of becomes that Southern California way of life where you're kind of able to combine part of your exterior space into that interior space. And so it really just kind of feel like an extra dining room right here. So you got this brick patio, right? And all this brick walkway all the way to your detached garage. And then above you have your trellis, right? To keep out a good amount of the sunlight. And then look at this huge grassy area, very quiet here in this backyard, and then all the lush landscaping around the perimeter of this backyard. So a ton of possibilities, right? I think, if you have small kids, right, or pets, plenty of room for everybody to run around for sure. And it's just very quiet and peaceful here in this backyard. All right, so one of the things I did want to show you was this detached garage, right? So look, maybe you want to have some additional rental income coming in to have your detached garage converted into an ADU. So if you already have the structure in place, it's going to run you about, I would say, $55,000 to $75,000 depending on the finishes, and if you decide to add anything else onto it, right? Because remember, you're going to be responsible to have probably a split unit in there. You're going to have your own plumbing, your own electrical, right? Especially since it's a detached, so you wouldn't be able to combine anything from the main house. So, something like this, you're probably looking at about, 450 square feet, more or less. Now, if you were to actually build something, a structure that was detached, right? You don't really have the space for it so much here, but it would run you probably about, I'd say, between $250 and $300 a square foot right now to be able to build. And that really depends on what part of Los Angeles that you're going to be in. Now that's probably higher if you're in an area like Beverly Hills, so to speak. But I'd say on average it's probably between $250 to $300 a square foot to build an accessory dwelling unit. So if you're looking for maybe to have in-laws live with you, you want that extra rental income, right? It's very common these days, more and more common. Then this might work for you. This is something you would obviously have to go down and verify all the permits with the Department of Building and Safety, right? And there's a bunch of different companies that can help assist you with that. But just wanted to give you an idea of what type of potential you have right here. All right, so now you can look at the rear of the house as we're standing in the backyard looking at the house and really get a better picture of that patio I was telling you about. And I really do like having all these bricks. A lot of times, most of the time, if we're being honest here, it's usually just a concrete patio. So the fact that you have this lovely brick patio brings so much character to this home. Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group again. Let me know what you think of this wonderful single level Granada Hills home. All right, guys, so again, we've kind of walked through the interior and the exterior, so I really would love to hear what you have to think about this home. This home has a lot to offer, over 2,000 square feet of living space on an over 7,200 square foot lot. So I think you can just move right in. This home retains a lot of charm and character, yet at the same time has a lot of upgrades to be able to offer to you. All right, so getting back to what we were talking about before, that if you're a buyer here in LA, in the greater Southern California area, and you're looking to buy a home, reach out to us. Even if you just have questions, right, and you're not ready to buy, maybe it's 6-12 months down the road, maybe you just have some questions that are keeping you up at night, and maybe you've put some questions in ChatGPT, but you're not really sure if the answers really make sense, then guess what? Reach out to us. Love being a resource for everybody, and I can't tell you how many people since we've started this channel have really just reached out to us, and sometimes they're not ready to buy right now or not ready to sell, but you know what? We've been able to kind of guide them and counsel them, and you know what? Whenever the time's right, we're always here for them. And so I think that at the end of the day, that's what we really wanted, to kind of be able to answer questions. Sometimes people have questions just about remodeling. Sometimes they have questions about maybe selling an investment property. Is the right time right now to buy or sell? These are the questions that we get all the time, just to name a few. So if you have questions, feel free to reach out, and would love to answer any of the questions that you might have. Check out the QR code. You can always make a time on Calendly with us, right, to make a time that works for you. And heaven knows we've done it in the evening, we've done it in the morning, and every time in between. So we're just here for you guys to be able to kind of answer your questions that you might have when it comes to real estate here in Los Angeles. Hope you enjoyed this home tour. I'm Scott Himelstein with the Scott Himelstein Group, and promise we'll see you on the next one.